It's the Funny Comics Fan Club.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. I was laughing before we'd even started recording.
I
won't tell you why. But here we are on the Funny Comics Fan Club.
Hurrah!
Voted one of the best jingles in the whole of the world. Is that right?
Amongst the best jingles. It doesn't matter. It was in the top 5.
Yeah.
That's all we need to say.
Yeah. So
It doesn't really matter where in that top 5 it came.
We were, just to let the viewers know, we were nominated for an award in the Independent Podcast Awards, and we lost on all counts. But we went to see the Apple Podcast building.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
And they let us out alive.
They did. I don't know if are we allowed to even say?
I don't think we are.
I don't want to say. I can't tell you what was in there.
No, exactly. No, we're not saying no more.
But I'm not eating any more apples now. I'm sated.
He's had his fill.
Yes, well, they told us how to monetize our podcast, didn't they? So we're hoping to make 3 shillings as a result of this episode. Well, all we need for this episode, John, he said, segueing nicely, thank you, it's 4pence in the old money.
Because we are looking today at an issue of Film Fun, and it's 4pence. Is that what this 4D means?
4D, there is 4 old pence. They didn't call it, as we've established, they didn't call it old pence at the time.
But I mean, when you see an old 2p piece, does it say 2p old money on it or anything like that?
Yeah, it says old money. Yeah.
Does it? Oh.
It's like when they dig him out the ground, it says old Roman coin on it.
Because you get 5 new pence, it says on there, but 2p doesn't say old pence.
I don't think they say new pence on them anymore.
Well,
it's just pence now, isn't it? It's been over 50 years since matriculation.
I shall consult the authorities about this.
I said, get out of here.
But yeah, Film Fun. So this issue comes from 30th of May, 1959.
1959.
That's before even you were born.
Indeed. Yeah. Put it together before either of us were born.
Well, that's true, yeah. And so Film Fun, a yellowing edition from 1959. It's falling to pieces, so we better do this edition quickly before the whole thing disintegrates.
And I think my overriding impression of Film Fun, just to give you a spoiler, is there's not a lot of film in it.
But there's an awful lot of fun. Is that what you're going to say?
That was not what I was going to say.
That was their strapline back in 1959.
It was most of the words I was going to say. I didn't include the word not.
But the thing about this is, right, this thing is forgotten in the mists of time. But it was just incredibly popular in its day.
Yeah.
And its day went on for decades.
From 1920 to 1962.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah. I read that the first cover star was Harold Lloyd, the silent film comedian. That's how far back we're going.
With a pair of glasses and a smile.
Yeah.
Hi there, Harold. What are you doing today?
You know who did, this is really irrelevant, but you know who did that voiceover for Harold Lloyd?
Was it Casey Kayam?
No, it wasn't him. It was the guy who did Fred Flintstone.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought that was Casey Kayam.
Bernard Constantine. I can't remember his name.
I think it's
Henry somebody.
Henry Rollins.
I don't think it was. He's even older than he looks. But yeah, so Film Fun. How can we describe the concept of Film Fun? I suppose it's a bit of a giveaway. The title really.
That's the intention. Well, it's basically. Well, I think the weird thing was the reason I say there's not a lot of film in it is because there's not a lot of film in it. It's like TV stars. And there's a few very, very spurious. Well, some of them were in the film.
Some of them have had their fun. We'll go through it and we'll see
how they've selected their victims.
Yeah, how they meet their remit or not.
The cover star.
The cover star is one of the greatest cover stars you could get, in my humble opinion.
Because we've said so often, haven't we? Why do all these comics have the worst character on the front? And if they've got one of the best characters on the front, in theory at least, it's Tommy Cooper.
So how many people, in case people don't know who Tommy Cooper is, which is possible.
Get out of my podcast.
Yes, thank you. But so yeah, I mean, you know who he was. He was a very, very, very funny failed magician.
Yes,
with a fez on, and he was meant to be extremely tight, as far as I know.
Yes, apparently so. Yeah,
but he was one of the very few people who could do a hell of a lot with very little.
Yeah, he was one of the great, because he's one of the people. When you look at old comedy, a lot of it is terrible.
Yes,
but Tommy Cooper is still brilliant. It's
still
brilliant,
funny. Yeah, it's sort of timeless. The best of his stuff is timeless.
Yes.
However, the material on offer here,
not so much.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off. Tommy says, "Hello, Joe Kerr. What's that you left me? A present." So his friend is called Joe Kerr. Can you see the pun there?
I can see the humour inherent in that question. Yeah.
Almost immediately.
Yes.
And this Joe Kerr bloke says, it's an old chart that I picked up in my antique shop. The ink stains on it is said, or the ink spot on it, I'm sorry, the ink spot on it, that's important, is said to mark the place where much wealth is to be found.
Goodness me, it feels like 42 years since you started reading that speech, Paul.
Blimey, I'm just finding it very difficult to read. It's all so small, this blooming thing.
Well,
unless the table is large, possibly.
Well, people were smaller in those days, weren't they? So maybe that was...
It was the 50s. It was the 50s. But the best joke in the whole strip is in that first picture, which is basically a picture of what must be Tommy Cooper as a baby, because there's a baby with a fez on.
Yeah.
So I loved that.
That is a good... I think with this, the artwork in it is great, isn't it? It does...
Yeah, the artwork's really lively.
Once you get into it, it starts to look similar. But here, like I'll put this on the socials, on the last panel, there's a picture of him by the beach. It's lovely, and there's just these two girls going past. They don't need to be there anyway, but it looks really nice.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The story's rotten.
So Tommy Cooper's interested in this stupid map that's got an ink spot on it where there's some wealth is, but then his cat ends up flicking ink all over the map, so there's 4 different spots, and he thinks, oh, I better go to all of them and see which one has got the this wealth there. He sees one of the ink spots. It's in the middle of the ocean or something. Yeah. So he swims down to see if there's any treasure there. And he picks up a big rock, and it turns out to be a special rock that somebody gives him 20 quid for.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Blimey, it's hard to describe this.
But this is how the whole thing works, isn't it? He keeps going to the wrong place, which is clearly the wrong place, and then he accidentally finds something that somebody gives him money for. We've read so many stories like this, and it's interesting. It was interesting the way when we looked at Wham, and you go, oh, I can see where loads of the exciting stuff comes from. And then you read this, and you think, yeah, lots of the really, well, I hesitate to say, but really lazy workman-like stuff. We go, oh, what'll happen is there'll be a confusion, he'll accidentally get some money, and then at the end, brilliantly, at the end, he walks off for a slap-up fee.
And yeah, in the end, it turns out to be a bank that this joker has told him about, and he says something like, "Oh, you'll get some money in there, but you'll have to rob the bank first." But then Tommy at the end says, "Don't worry about it, mate. You know, I already got loads of money going to all the other places. I'm going to go and get a slap-up feed in Cafe de Posh."
Cafe de Posh.
And as you say, there are all these other people in this picture that don't need to be there. There's like the waiter and the waitress at Cafe de Posh. They're sort of peering around the door, having a good old giggle, as if they know exactly what's been going on.
Exactly.
Well, we know Tommy and his larks.
It's probably half the clientele at Cafe de Posh, aren't they?
They're all going for slap-up feeds. As a result.
Evidently win some money from somebody. Perhaps you have maison bet on a horse, sir.
Yeah, as you can see, he is German. Yeah. But the thing about this that I noticed is that this story has nothing to do with Tommy Cooper's persona.
Nothing to do with Tommy Cooper whatsoever.
You could put anybody in there, and it would read exactly the same. There's nothing to do with magic.
No.
Nothing to do with them being clumsy, even.
No.
It's just an adventure with somebody in it.
Does he say like that?
He doesn't say just like that.
Oh, not like that either. It's just not happening, is it?
None of the characteristics of Tommy Cooper are in this, so I don't know, a bit of a disappointment.
I think maybe, let's see if it's the theme, that as we go through this, there's no relation whatsoever to the main title character, but the art is lovely. Shall we find out as we go on? As we look, what's next?
Now, as I turn the crumbling pages, we get, I don't know, a bloke called Ronald Shiner.
Ronald Shiner.
He must have been a funny comedian back in the day, but I mean, no one's ever heard of him since, have they?
Well, he was in 2 films ever. He was in a film called Reluctant Heroes as a drill sergeant, and he's a drill sergeant here. And then he was in the film with Diana Dawes that got him voted Britain's most popular local male star in cinemas in 1952.
Local male star.
Local male star.
He was really popular in Cleethorpes.
Yeah, he was their favourite one, yeah.
What I would say is we have heard of half of them.
Yeah, I think
not the other half.
We've heard of the next one, haven't we? Which I think somebody you wanted to look at.
Well, Peter Sellers has got his own strip here. So this is 1959. So the Goons are in full flight on the radio, and I guess he's been in some films, but I mean he's not the fully fledged Clouseau yet.
No, he's not.
This edition has got a strip for Peter Sellers and a separate strip for Harry Seacombe.
Yes.
Nothing for Spike Milligan. So I wonder what he thought of that. They left out the guy that wrote everything and dreamt everything up, but never mind. But Peter Sellers here, he plays old mate in this comic strip. Because that was the question, how do you do a comic strip is somebody who has no set persona, really.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? He's famous for doing loads of different parts, and this is pre-Clouseau, so we couldn't have him. So they've chosen a character out of the Goon Show called Old Mate, odd job man, and jack of all trades. That's pretty much what the character was in the Goon Show. You should talk like that. Hello, mate. All right, mate. The way it's drawn is weird. It looks like it's Peter Sellers dressed up as a character, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It's because I read this. I thought, why does he keep saying mate?
that's why he keeps it, because that's what he does on the Goon Show.
Yeah, well, I kind of thought maybe that was it. But
A radio
it feels
show. Yeah,
on a radio show.
Not a film. This is a radio character.
So-
He never did that on film.
So have they had to invent a costume for him?
Yeah.
And his costume has mate on the front,
So everyone knows who he is.
so everyone knows who he is. Yeah.
And it looks like they put special glasses and a false moustache on him to make him look like the character in the comic strip. Really peculiar. But anyway, I mean, he's hired as a sound effects person in a theatre by some manager chap, and essentially he keeps getting all the sound effects wrong. And in the end, he says, "What a life." I mean, Peter Sellers never said "what a life," as far as I'm concerned. It's, the humour is not like the Goon Show.
No,
The humour is not like anything Milligan would have ever written. It's just yet again a standard.
It's seriously, isn't it? And even I think we begin to see as well as we get into as we delve deeper into
As we delve wonderfully into this incredible undergrowth.
they've all got the same format in the story, but also nearly every one of them has like a really bog standard publicity photo,
Yeah.
and it's like and they've all got it, and it's like the
Yeah.
one of Peter Sellers. It looks like he's just passed gas or something, doesn't it? He's just burped lightly. He's suffering from indigestion. And gone, oh, that'll do.
Yeah. I'm sure he would not have chosen that one, but it's fairly early days in his career, I guess, before he became the megalomaniac that we all know and hate. But then it's like, I don't know, he keeps getting all the sound effects wrong in this theatre during this story, and then in the end they want, like, he decides to pull the lever for some rain, and then it gets stuck and he can't turn it off, so the whole theatre's flooded. Then he goes out, and that's the end. And it's not particularly good. Nothing to do with the Goon Show. Very little to do with Peter Sellers, really.
No, and I think like if we go over to the next
Crumbling
page,
Last of the Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans.
So this is a film that everyone's forgotten about, because I think this must have been around the late 50s, this film. And it's got some people in it. And have you ever heard of this version of it?
1936.
1936. They're late with putting this in the comic.
It's got Larry Buster Crabbe, or I think it's him.
That's not, is it?
It looks like him, but maybe
It's just some people.
Just some people.
Famous in 1938.
It's in black and white, isn't it? It's all people.
Yeah, they couldn't afford colour.
But I wonder if this is a reprint, because this was done by Classic Illustrated, so maybe it's a reprint of that. But
yeah, it's just a very straightforward, dramatic adventure type thing.
And why would you have it? Because maybe they're going, okay, well, we've got the fun in the form of some radio comedians, so we better have some film.
Yeah, that might be why.
Because telly existed now, so they're going, oh, it's been on the telly or something. I don't know.
I'm wondering whether they got some money for putting this in as a publicity deal with the studios or something,
Well, yeah, but they're going, oh, this film will be released 23 years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I think there was something a bit later that was like a serial, actually.
Oh, maybe it was a serial.
It was like one of those old serials, those hilarious old serials. I mean, I love old serials. I mean, I used to love Flash Gordon and all those.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm thinking it was Larry Buster Crabbe.
Right.
I'm assuming that everybody in those films was Larry Buster Crabbe.
I mean, I was watching one of these old serials, and it was like, the car goes off the cliff, and the hero's in the car, goes off the cliff and crashes, and then it says, find out what happens in the next episode. Then you watch the next episode, and before the car goes off the cliff, he just gets out. That's how he escapes.
That's how he escapes.
Yeah, so
maybe that should be like part of the road safety campaign. Isn't it?
always get out before a crash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Think of the lives it would save.
I've always taken that advice.
Yeah, I don't even get in, and that helps me.
But Last of the Mohicans is of very little interest to anybody at the moment, so let's ponder on that at some other time. You wanted to look at this for some reason.
The Adventures of Billy the Bellboy. Yes, John, I did want to look at our advert, and I don't think you can complain the amount of adverts we've had to look at because of you.
This is a big well, it's not really a big advert, it's half a page, but it is an advert and a comic strip.
And it doesn't say advertising feature on it.
Oh yeah.
Which I think there may have been a law at some point that said you had to, but it passes itself off quite calmly as a story about like a really stupid thief. So what happens is Billy the Bellboy is a bellboy outside a hotel. Yeah. A cart pulls up and a bloke gets out and says, oh yeah, I'm just going to park. Here's my coat, get it washed for me. I'm going to go into that hotel there. And he's got a newspaper in his pocket of the coat. So the bellboy takes a newspaper out of the coat and reads, "Oh, there's been a robbery of this car here." So, and he's like, "Well, hey, that newspaper must be quite fresh, mustn't it? He must have rushed out, he'd done the robbery." He goes, "Oh, I'm about to crash. Paper, quick!" Yeah, he said, I'm about to crash. Oh, I'll get out of the car. He goes, "Oh, here's a newspaper. I'll get that, put it in his pocket." And then
he shouldn't have really picked that newspaper, which is called Car Stolen, it seems to me.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe you could relate to that other case.
Exactly, yeah.
He thought, I know what they're on about.
Maybe it's a newspaper especially for car thieves.
Yeah.
Car Stolen magazine.
Well, they've sold one already.
He says, I'm in the front. Look, I'm in the front page. It's me. I made the front page of Car Stolen.
Yeah. Anyway, any advertisers listening, Car Stolen Weekly is a good idea.
Not to be confused with the easy delivery of German Christmas goods. Car Stolen.
Got it.
Thank you very much. But then I love the fact that like there's the whole half of this is this lad's working it out, and then he says, "Idea." Oh, I'll call the police. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea. And he manages to stop the thief from getting out of the phone box or wherever he's gone. Or is it the hotel?
He's gone in the hotel. Yeah, he's gone.
So he rams this some sort of mop through the door handle, so the guy can't get out of the hotel.
Brilliant.
And the Bobby is very pleased about this. And
Mark, lad, Billy, we've got another car thief.
And does he get any reward or anything like that?
He gets a firm handshake from a Bobby.
A firm handshake. And then he's like, phew, now I can enjoy my favourite bubblegum, fruit or licorice, smashing value, Bellboy bubblegum.
Only half an old pence.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
They were pricing themselves a bit low, I feel.
And I think that, like, Billy the Bellboy's, he's not giving himself credit. I'm sure he could chew gum and read a newspaper at the same time.
I don't know.
I think he'd be all right.
But, and yet again, there's a terrible picture of him on the first page.
There is, actually, yeah.
And sort of keeping with the rest of them.
He'd probably need to ring his agent.
So, you're a big fan of this character now, then? You're looking forward to reading more adventures.
Billy the Bellboy, he does some bellboying, doesn't he? He's already ahead of everybody else we've looked at by doing something that we know him.
I think there's like at least 20, 30 years in this idea.
I would imagine so, yes.
Anyway, we will move on now. Okay, now this is a text story. 2 whole pages of very small, extremely dense typed script that you can barely read. I mean, even you might have a problem reading this.
Even I, yeah.
With your bionic eyes.
I have. Obviously, I've read the whole thing, John. I sat down and read the whole thing, but I want to ask you. What did you think of it? I put
it back to you because I don't like to hog the podcast, as we know.
I thought there were some interesting moments, didn't you?
Interesting moments throughout, and there was something missing.
Yeah, it was the bottom half, but the page that's fallen.
That was missing.
That's what was missing.
Now, what this is so it says here, war thrills with a man on a secret mission. The story of the film Up Periscope. Now, we've all seen Up Periscope.
Yes.
Who hasn't seen Carry On Up the Periscope? No, nobody's seen this.
I don't think they're making a film called Carrying Up the Periscope.
I bet they are. But anyway, no one's ever heard of Up Periscope. I had a quick look into this to get it. And it starred James Garner.
Really?
Now, we've all heard of James Garner.
We've all heard of James Garner, famous
people like
the Rock
Revivers. Anyone listening to this podcast knows who Tommy Cooper is, we would have thought, and knows who James Garner is.
Indeed. Not who Ronald Shiner is.
No, we don't. No one knows who Ronald Shiner is. This is meant to be like the story of the film. So by the time you've finished it, you know what's going to happen. So
why bother going to see the film?
Why would you? If you actually sit down and start trying to decipher it, it's just not written in very good English. It's almost like it's been badly translated from the French. It's just not. This bit says here, Commander Stevenson nodded, drawing deeply on a cigarette and slowly exhaling before making reply. What does that mean? That's not good English.
It's not great, is it?
Not good English.
Well, if you said it in French, Le Commandeur, il pouvait en faire. Oui.
Sounds much better.
It did, didn't it?
But yeah,
maybe that French person who just came in. Right?
Thank you. But I'll give him 4 pence. No, it's just like nobody's going to want to go and see this film after reading this or before reading it. I don't think so. Why? I don't know. It's failed.
It's failed. I agree.
Okay, now here comes a funny person. It's Jerry Lewis, Paramount star. It says
Paramount star Jerry Lewis
with a terrible picture of
Jerry Lewis,
in keeping with the rest of the comic.
And I want you to look at this because now, correct me if I'm wrong, John. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's going to happen at some point. Yeah. Is Jerry Lewis not an American film star?
That's absolutely right.
Not a British film star.
Well, I mean, that Periscope was an American film.
But in this one, he's like, yeah, it is. But in this, like, he says things like, cool. And he's
What
like,
a life.
what a
Yeah,
good
again, he
life.
said, I think it's written by the guy that did the Toller
Yeah.
Cooper one. Because he's never said, cool, what a life
No.
in his life,
No.
Jerry Lewis.
He doesn't. He says things like "Hello, Dean" or something like that.
Yeah. And he's just generally like an irritating child.
He is, and it's like, well, it's ridiculous. Well, they're going, oh, great, because they must have paid money. Jerry Lewis must have received payment for this.
I hope it was a lot, because
Yeah.
it's not exactly brilliant.
And then so somebody there was going, oh, yeah, brilliant. What we're going to do is we're going to do a sort about Jerry Lewis, because people like that.
Yeah.
And then you go, are we going to make it anything to do with Jerry Lewis at all? Oh, no.
No.
In no way whatsoever.
Yeah, just put him in a zoo. That'll be fine.
But the artwork is great, isn't it? It's gorgeous. There's a panel here. This panel here where Jerry Lewis is standing outside the zoo entrance, and there's so much going on. It's so inventive. Yeah.
There's tons of stuff going on. Like the elephant's looking really fed up.
He is.
Over here. He's got a really sort of scowling expression.
He's carrying a grudge because, as we know, elephants do not forget.
And then you've got like two people here who've got nothing to do with the picture at all.
A real proper teddy boy.
There's a teddy boy and a girl. And there's some bloke who's got nothing to do with it with a big pipe. All the smoke's coming out of it.
That's right, yeah. There's an ostrich who's eating all the sweets.
And this is all in one panel, so there's a lot going on there.
It looks really, really nice. Yeah. And I'm sort of thinking about this. Here's my theorem of the week.
Theory of the week, here it comes.
It's like, this really is like how a lot of comics that we've read, I'd like this, because we always say, however badly they're written, and they're often very badly written, they always look good.
Yes.
And these really, really, really do look like that. And I think a lot of the things we've got used to, like the slap-up feats, just all of that sort of stuff is here.
Yeah.
And apparently, I was reading, apparently the editor of this, he apparently, I don't know if this is true, we can't verify, but he introduced the idea of like a pile of mash with sausages sticking out of it.
Right.
And it was in here that characters first started getting rewarded with slap-up feats.
When did the Beano start? Do you remember?
Beano started in 1938.
Okay, so this is before that.
Yeah.
So they may well have been reading film fun before.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it could be, yeah.
So this is quite a groundbreaking thing in its day.
I mean, this is now, so this at this point, this comic had nearly finished, hasn't it? So we've been going for 39 years at this point. The Beano existed, the Dandy, all these other comics existed that were more exciting. But again, that's why I think it's weird they're not using the stars they've got, because it's like the big selling point is you've got, well, on the next one you've got Harry Seacombe.
Well, the Harry Seacombe one, again, he was mostly known for the Goons at this point. It doesn't really look anything like Harry Seacombe as far as I can see. I mean, does that look anything like him?
Yes, it does, because the Harry Seacombe in the strip is wearing a striped blazer, and they've chosen a publicity photograph of him wearing a striped blazer.
Right.
So that was my key into it. That's how I got it. That's why I got the gist. But otherwise, does it sound like Harry Seacombe?
No,
because there's a narration bit. It's the only one that's actually got a narration for each one, and I imagine it being a Harry Seacombe voice. I thought
maybe. It's a bit more like the Goons, I suppose, because he's the centre of a load of funny goings on, and he's the sort of heroic type character. And I suppose there is a narration, and maybe in some ways that relates to his radio work. But I think really it hasn't got the sort of jokes that they would do on the Goon show.
Oh goodness, no!
It's just, I don't know. Again, it's very sort of detailed, but I actually find it a little bit uncomfortable to look at. Just the amount of detail. I don't know. It's just hard for me to sort of get into that. The style of it, I don't know why.
They're very busy panels, aren't they?
It's very, very busy. That's what it is.
There's not much. I think there's a thing that you get in comics where it's a main character, you either vary the line around them or do a thicker line.
Oh,
and in some French and Belgian comics, there's this thing called La Ligne Claire. We should get the French person back again. The clear line, where it's like, then it's not like that. It's very. But
that's why I love things like Peanuts. Charles Schultz.
Yeah.
Because he just communicates so much with very few lines, and that to me is like amazing artistry. Whereas this is just like, what the hell's going? It almost reminds me of that Marvel Madhouse.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is.
Where there's tons of stuff happening, and so much that you can't quite understand it at all.
Well, I think it's the way it's done, isn't it? Because the Jerry Lewis one that we looked at, that's sort of really busy panel, but it is clear. I mean, I suppose in this one, if you look at it, Jerry Lewis is in the middle, and there is a clear area around him, so you can see him. But on a lot of these, it's just it is like Marvel Madhouse, isn't it? It's all that sort of idea.
It all sort of blurs together into one lump. So I don't know, I wasn't struck on it. And now we come to Capri Mystery, starring the well-known Rod Cameron.
Rod Cameron!
Another Republic picture. No one's ever heard of Rod Cameron since 1959, have they?
No, and I can't find... I looked this up and I thought, I can't find any trace of a movie called Capri Mystery, or indeed anything called a Capri Mystery, except why did my dad buy that car in the 1980s?
But I mean, so this is a sort of James Bondish type thing.
Yeah.
Possibly before the James Bond films come out. I don't know when they came out actually. But...
He's sort of a cowboy, though, because
is he?
Rod Cameron did have his own comic strip in the 50s in America. So I'm really strongly suspecting that it may be that this is a reprint of that again, like like one of the other ones was.
I mean, you know what some of this might be. Kids used to go to Saturday morning pictures, didn't they?
They did,
and things like this were shown. So it may well relate to that sort of
may do, yeah.
What they were watching, which would make sense. Film fun.
Well, goodness me, there we go. Film fun, that's what we're here for.
That was a serious bit, wasn't it?
That's very good.
It's Harry Seacombe. Thank you. Again, just nothing interesting's going on in it.
No.
Just lots of work for very little reward.
And it seems weird as you sort of think, again, when we go back to Wham, which is only a few years after this.
Oh, Wham is a masterpiece compared to this.
Wham's a masterpiece compared to anything. But you think, what an explosion of excitement that must have been when you've got used to this. And this is still, and as we know, I mean, this looks a bit like Black Bob, doesn't it?
Right.
It's that, I think this was still going on. It's like going, it's not actually very good. And when something like Wham comes along, what we did, Leo Baxter was, at this point, when this stuff's coming on, they go, here's something exciting that is well written and well drawn, and is like talking to you kids. Yeah. It's not surprising things like Film Fun at this point go, okay, we're going now. I
mean, no wonder the Goon Show was so popular, because it just broke through all this staid, conventional stuff. I mean, it must have been like manna from heaven to school kids listening to that. But thank God we get to this page. So I really like this page.
Did you?
Our very own Frankie Howerd in What a Carry On.
What a Carry On.
This is the Carry On influence here. But what do you make of this, Dr. Mark?
Well, I'm interested.
Be yourself. Yes.
Well, I was very looking forward to hearing Mr. Francis Howard, who was risen from the grave and joined us as you.
No.
But he doesn't do any of that.
No, look, no. Okay, now I'm going to give the writer the benefit of the doubt, and here it is in a plain wrap, right? So, how do you explain the story? Give us the story of what Frankie Howerd does in this particular comic strip.
So, Frankie Howerd, he's looking for work, isn't he? He's trying to find some work, and he's heard the tumbling acts. To my Frankie Howerd, tumbling acts are popular. Now that I've passed out as a fully fledged acrobat, I should land a job in no time. So he's
become an acrobat.
He decided to become an acrobat
for his comedy funny act, and he's going around all the agents, and that no one wants to see him. And they're all called sort of funny names like Fred O'Cotton and Nat Bite and things like that. And then in the end, he gets a gun out and he holds up one of the agents and takes him to the woods and then performs this incredible acrobatic act of his. And then in the end, the agent says, well, I couldn't see anything because I didn't have my glasses on. I can relate to that. What I liked about this,
you've often been kidnapped, have you, in a non-spectacle wearing way?
Yeah, I can do without it. But the thing about Frankie Howerd is he is the last person who would ever train to be an acrobat. So I found that sort of really funny in context. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Whether that was the writer's intention or not, probably not. But just the idea of Frankie Howerd being an acrobat is so ludicrous that to me it worked as a sort of comic piece. Oh, yes, remember when I was an acrobat? Oh, I was all over the place, I was. No, madam, I was. What do you mean you don't believe me, you know? That sort of thing.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't do any of that stuff. I mean, it was bad enough Tommy Cooper not saying just like that.
No, he doesn't.
At no point does he says, I'm going to bind and gag you, he says, which is not one of his catchphrases, as far as I'm aware.
Or swoon at the end there. That wasn't
he does do a swoon, but I think the bit at the end, so at the end, when the guy, so he goes through all this effort to show off his act, and then the guy at the end says, I haven't got glasses on. And Frankie Howerd goes, swoon, and passes out.
None of that dialogue reflects what he was like as a character.
As a character, no. It was reading.
But I did find it really funny. That was my favourite page. I thought the strength of his character, to me, came out in this.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So you're saying that Frankie Howardness
just came out
through your prior knowledge of other versions of Frankie Howerd. Sorry, this is getting nice.
It's getting difficult. Yeah,
what we're talking about, John. What we're talking about here is a transmedia character network.
No, we're not.
That is awesome because you are aware of other versions of Frankie Howerd.
That's right. Yeah.
You've experienced and your knowledge of Frankie Howerd then informs this text that we're reading, in which there is very little Frankie Howardness at all. The only Frankie Howardness at all is the fact that he says Frankie Howerd and speaks to Frankie Howerd at the top.
I guess
there's no Frankie Howerdity. At least in the Tommy Cooper strip, he had a pheasant throughout, which
Well,
was
he
a
does.
sticky comic Tommy
He does
Cooper.
look a bit like Frankie Howerd, doesn't he?
I mean, if it hadn't said Frankie Howerd
No,
at the
you wouldn't have
top,
thought it was him.
if it had said like,
Good point.
if
Good point.
if it said it was
Yeah.
Ronald Cameron or whatever his name was,
Bernard Jacobson.
Billy the Bellboy.
Yeah. I mean, I take your point there. If that picture of Frankie Howerd had not been saying who it was, I would not have known.
Maybe that's why they've got it. It's like when Callan and Ball used to do their impersonations and go,
Oh yeah.
oh, it's me, Deputy Dog.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I know who you are.
Hello, my name is Columbo. Yeah, things like that. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
but that's still my favourite page
Okay.
of the comic.
but surely here now, the next one we've got, it's one of your favourites.
Tony Hancock.
Yeah.
I can appreciate Tony Hancock rather than really like him. I have to
Right.
say.
Okay.
I appreciate the artistry, but I'm not sure whether I actually like him. I don't think he was a particularly likable person in real life.
Not a person at all, was he? No.
But obviously, things like the blood donor and the radio ham and all that, I mean, you can't really argue with the writing for a start.
That's true. That's a good point.
But Tony Hancock, yeah, so this was like, he was so big at this point. His radio series was huge, his TV show was massive, everybody in the country knew who he was. So he's got his own picture strip. So what's interesting here is, I don't know if you found this out when you had a look in the special research archives that we keep at Funny Comics Towers, just next door to YPC Towers.
Which is a spaceship, but that's another story.
Yes, but there was an edition of his TV show, watched by everybody in the country practically, where he comes back from a holiday with Sid James, and like none of the milk's been cancelled. There are all these newspapers left, and one of the things that is left is, which he mentions, is his subscription to Film Fun.
Really? Oh, there you go.
So, that was probably a sort of nod to the fact that he knew he was in it.
Right.
And everybody knew he was in it. I mean, I thought that was
That's good.
really cool.
But this strip is flipping bonkers, isn't it? Because,
Yeah. Like most strips.
Yeah.
If you go on a story writing course, it's almost like you have to take one idea and see it through to the end. This one starts with one idea and then goes into another bonkers idea and then sort of somehow amalgamates it into a strange mess. But having said that, I think this has got the best ending to any comic strip in this particular magazine.
Yes, it has.
This has got a really good ending.
Because at the start, the guy says, for a fee of £300, I guarantee to get your picture in all the papers, Hancock, which is that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Is it 300? I thought it was 100. So you can't see it either.
I can't see it.
So that's how small it is. It's not just me.
Let's say it's 200, just for the fact you are.
Yeah.
And then,
but the thing is that this is someone called Sid Sharkey, ace publicity agent, not Sid James.
His son, of course, later appeared in the Undertones.
But this guy, Sid Sharkey, is there. Nobody knows who he is, but he's got the same sort of character as Sid James. So maybe there was maybe there's a copyright problem. Although I learned Sid James did actually appear in later issues, so who knows?
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, you're right. So it starts off. He says, for a fee of some £100, I guarantee to get your picture in the papers. In all the papers, because he's looking for publicity.
Yeah, and the way he's going to do it is by getting Tony Hancock to dress up in a crazy costume. It's quite good fun, isn't it? Because he's basically wearing leopard skin swimming trunks and a bearskin hat. But then they go out in the street, and everybody is dressed really weirdly.
Yeah.
And it turns out, what are the chances? Today's the day of the Brighter Dress League's annual convention where everybody wears weird clothes.
It would have been better if they were all wearing a Busby and sort of leopard skin trunks. That would have been much better.
Well, it's like the whole thing is like going, really?
You don't think that could have ever happened? I know he was known for his realism.
And he's like, yeah, you see, you're saying this is basically like a 1950s kitchen sink drama.
Yeah.
So they go, oh, yeah.
It's a family way. Anyway, after that bit of the story, there's a completely different bit. And Sid, the manager, not from Steve right in the afternoon, Sid, the manager, says, I'll tell you what, boy, here's how to get a load of publicity. Climb up a very tall building.
Yeah.
And instead of Hancock just saying, are you out of your tiny mind? He says, I'll only do it if you do it as well, which is not what anybody would say. No. Immediately, they start climbing up this really tall building with no worry. Or the Hancock character wouldn't do it. And anyway, so they get nabbed by the police for reasons too complex to go into now. And then he gets thrown in the cell. Or what is it? He says, we were only doing it for the publicity stunt, Your Honour. And then the judge says, ha, ha, ha. Tell that to your Aunt Fanny. Toss them into a cell, jailer, or into a jail cellar. And that's, of course, how judges used to talk in the 1950s.
That's what it is, yeah, they did.
And then so he gets in there. Here's the brilliant ending. Sid says, "Don't forget that you owe me £100 when we get out of here." Hancock says, "I owe you £100. What for?" He says, "Because I did what I promised and got your picture in all the papers." And then you look down, there's papers saying, "Two dangerous crooks caught, cat burglars sentenced." You see, they're all put in the papers for a funny ending.
And then Hancock says, "Swoon," in exactly the same way as Frankie Howard did, which I think that was me then going, "That's the end, by the way. That was the punchline."
Everybody else in this seems to say, "Oh, what a life," except the bloke that actually said it. What's all that about?
And why is it like? I mean, I suppose I know the answer to this, but there's the newspapers are the Daily Whale and the Daily Snooze. I guess the latest issue of Carl Stolen hadn't come out yet.
yeah, I think so. But you wonder whether the same guy wrote half of this stuff.
Yeah, I know. And then we've got as a grand finale.
Wow, good heavens above! What can we say about this bit?
The Blackfriars Phantom. Which again, I have read this entirety, but I don't want to hog the limelight, so I'll leave you to explain to the listeners what it's all about.
I mean, I think we should put a picture. Are we able to put a picture of this on the site?
Oh, yes, certainly, yes.
Because it's just, yet again, thousands of words, all small and typed out in a very difficult to read manner. And this doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything.
It does, no.
There's no films called The Blackfriars Phantom.
No, there isn't.
There weren't even any in 1959, as far as I can see. It's just a ghost story.
But what I love about it is, again, there's a bit and it says, "Yet another of these action-packed mysteries next week." Yet another.
Yet another one. Cool, what a life.
What a life. So what was your favourite bit of this then, John?
The end. That was definitely
Swoon.
No, I it's funny because I liked Tommy Cooper, not Tommy Cooper, Frankie Howard.
Yeah.
Completely different. I liked Frankie Howard until you pointed out that it could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody.
And now I hate it. No, I still quite like that page actually.
I don't like Jerry Lewis, but I mean, again, it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Jerry Lewis at all. But I just love. I think that some of the art in it is so fun and interesting, and it really zings. It's great.
I mean, it's funny. It's sort of funny. I'm not sure whether would kids have been very interested in Tommy Cooper. I suppose they would have been, and Ronald Shiner, and all these.
Tommy Cooper, I'd have thought, because I mean,
Jerry Lewis. Would have kids known who Jerry Lewis was?
Kids didn't know who Jerry Lewis was, yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you got me there then.
I think so, because these are the celebrities that it's not like now.
No.
Like if you gave a child today this, they'd go, "I do not know who Tommy Cooper is, I'm afraid." And who are you? Please leave me alone.
They would have done back.
They would have done back then. If like now, it will be a YouTube influencer. What's your favourite YouTube influencer, John?
Timmy Carter.
Oh yeah, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, Film Fun, it's quite a confident magazine, isn't it? I mean, for a start, it says it's a 5-star weekly on the front.
It does, yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't mind a review like that if anyone's listening. But yeah, I don't know really. I can live without this particular issue of Film Fun. I've been living with it for about 4 weeks.
You have. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it?
It's an interesting insight into something.
Well, I think it's interesting. I think it shows us. I mean, as we go back and forth through the history of these, I mean, we've done a lot of stuff with comics from when we were actually reading these comics as kids. But going back a bit and finding where they come from. Oh, I sound like a teacher now. Maybe I should get my own YouTube channel. History's interesting, children.
But yeah, I don't know. Film Fun, we got through it. That's all I can say about that one.
So all that remains is to present you with what we're going to be looking at next week.
As opposed to the remains of this particular issue of Film Fun.
And next week, as I'm sure you'll be aware, listeners, it's Christmas.
Oh.
And what could be better at Christmas than an annual?
Very little.
I was listening to two middle-aged men talking about an annual.
That is slightly better.
So there we go. So next time we'll look at the Beano book from 1979.
Wow, it looks great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Wow. I think you'll enjoy that. Because last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but that's not the point. We looked at a modern Beano book, and this time we're going to look at a rather less modern.
Looks fun to me. So I'm looking forward to this. Readers. And thank you so much for listening this week. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. If you haven't, you've only got yourselves to blame.
You have.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. And the final thing I wish to say on the matter is swoon.
Cool, what a life.